Hello, fellow traveler. I am so glad you found your way back to my campfire tonight. Come closer, sit down, and let the warmth of this fire protect you from the cool wind. Do you hear that? The sky is turning dark, and the first gentle drops of rain are starting to fall. Welcome to the Midnight Nomad, a quiet, safe harbor for your curious mind and your weary heart. Today, my journey took me through a sudden storm in the mountains. I got wet, I got cold, but I also found something beautiful. Tonight, let's talk about those rainy days in our lives, the difficult times we did not plan for. Let's explore how we can find peace and even beauty when the sky turns gray. Relax your shoulders, take a slow, deep breath, and let's walk through the rain together. My morning began beautifully. The sun was shining and the sky was a perfect, clear blue. I had a plan, a map, and a specific destination I wanted to reach before sunset. I felt confident, but in the mountains, the weather has its own mind. By noon, the warm golden sunlight began to fade. Huge, heavy gray clouds rolled over the mountain peaks, blocking out the sun. The air became suddenly cold, and a sharp wind began to whip through the trees. I looked at my map, then at the sky. My perfect plan was in danger. I felt a sudden wave of frustration. Why did the weather have to change now? We often feel this way when life unexpectedly changes. We have our plans, our schedules, our perfect paths, but then the gray clouds of difficulty arrive. We feel annoyed, angry, and helpless as the storm approaches. And then, the sky opened. The rain didn't start with gentle drops. It came down in a heavy, freezing downpour. Within seconds, my hair was wet, and my olive green cardigan felt heavy with water. The wind blew the cold rain directly into my face, making it hard to see the trail. My boots grew heavy, and my hands became numb. I was soaking wet, cold, and uncomfortable. My perfect day was completely ruined. In that moment of cold rain, I realized how much I was resisting the storm. I was fighting the reality of the rain in my mind. When hard times strike, our first reaction is often resistance. We fight the situation, wishing it were different, crying out, "Why me?" But the storm does not care about our complaints. The rain will fall anyway. Fighting the reality of the storm only makes us feel colder. Instead of running in panic, I decided to look for shelter. Nearby, standing like a giant guardian, was a massive, ancient pine tree. Its thick, wide branches spread out like a huge green umbrella. I scrambled off the path and sat down between its giant mossy roots, pressing my back against its strong, dry trunk. The moment I stepped under the canopy, the heavy rain stopped hitting me. Looking up, I could see the thick layers of green needles holding back the storm. The earth beneath the tree was still dry, smelling of sweet pine resin and warm soil. Sometimes in life, we cannot stop the rain, but we can look for a sanctuary. When you feel overwhelmed, look for your own canopy. It can be a quiet room, a comforting book, a conversation with a kind friend, or just a few moments of breathing. Find a place where you can feel protected, even while the storm rages outside. Sitting safely under the giant tree, I decided to take care of myself. I unzipped my backpack, took out my small thermos, and poured a cup of warm chamomile water. I held the cup close, letting the warmth heat my cold, damp hands. I took a slow sip, feeling the heat spread slowly down my chest, warming my freezing body from the inside. I wrapped my damp green cardigan tighter around my body, closed my eyes, and simply sat. I was still wet. The storm was still raging outside the tree, but inside my small sanctuary, I was warm. I was safe. In difficult seasons of life, self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. When you are going through a hard time, please be extremely gentle with yourself. Wrap yourself in patience. Warm your heart with small comforts, a hot cup of tea, a cozy blanket, or a slow breath. You don't have to fight the whole storm. You just need to keep your own inner light warm. As I sat in the stillness, my mind began to quiet down. I stopped focusing on my ruined plan, and I started to listen. The rain, which had felt like an enemy before, began to sound different. I heard the gentle pitter-patter of the droplets hitting the pine needles above. I heard the deep, rhythmic rushing sound of the wind through the high branches. I heard the soft plop of water landing on the wet leaves on the forest floor. It was a beautiful, natural symphony. It was the music of the earth. When we stop resisting our difficulties, we can begin to hear the music in them. We realize that difficult days have their own rhythm. They slow us down, making us quieter, more reflective. They teach us to listen, to pay attention to the details we usually ignore in our busy lives. The rain is not noise, it is a song of patience. Looking out from under my shelter, I watched the forest receive the rain. The dry moss on the tree trunks was turning a vibrant emerald green as it drank the water. The dusty leaves of the bushes were washed clean, glistening in the cool air. The dry soil was soaking up the water, releasing a deep, earthy scent, the smell of rain, which the Greeks called petrichor. The forest wasn't running away from the storm. The trees weren't complaining. They were standing tall, opening their branches and welcoming the rain. They knew that without the storm, they could not grow. They knew that the rain was not a punishment. It was a gift of life. We need the rain in our lives too. The difficult seasons are the times when our roots grow deep. They wash away our arrogance, teach us empathy, and make us stronger. Hard times are not here to destroy you. They are here to water your soul. After an hour, the heavy clouds began to break apart, and the rain slowly stopped. I stood up, stretched my body, and stepped back onto the mountain path. The storm had passed, but the road was completely changed. The dry, easy dirt path was now covered in wet, slippery mud. Every step required my full attention. My boots sank into the dark mud with a loud squish sound, and I had to walk slowly to keep my balance. Walking was slow, messy, and hard work. Often, after a major difficulty passes in our lives, the path remains messy for a while. The crisis is over, but the aftermath is still there. We have to clean up the mess, untangle our emotions, and rebuild. It can feel frustrating. We want everything to be clean and easy immediately, but healing is a slow process. It is okay if your path is muddy right now. But as I walked slowly through the mud, I began to see the beauty in it. The rain had created small puddles along the path. These puddles were like tiny, perfect mirrors lying on the dark ground. They reflected the white clouds and the soft blue sky, bringing the vast heavens down to the muddy earth. The wet moss on the stones looked incredibly green, and the drops of water on the wild grass sparkled like small diamonds in the cool light. The mud wasn't just dirty, it was alive. It was nurturing the soil, preparing the earth for new flowers to bloom in the coming weeks. Sometimes, when our lives feel messy and muddy, we fail to see the beauty of the healing process. Even in your messy days, there are tiny mirrors of hope. There are moments of quiet beauty if you look closely enough. And then, a miracle happened. The thick clouds in the west parted, and a single, warm beam of golden sunlight pierced through the trees. It hit the wet leaves, making the entire forest explode into a sparkling display of gold and green light. Every drop of water on the branches became a tiny prism, scattering rainbow colors across the forest floor. The air felt incredibly clean, filled with the fresh scent of washed pine and damp soil. My cold body instantly felt the gentle warmth of the sun on my skin. I stopped walking, closed my eyes, and turned my face toward the golden light. The sun felt so much sweeter because I had been cold. The warmth felt so much deeper because I had been wet. This is the gift of the storm. It teaches us to truly appreciate the light. We cannot feel the deep joy of the sun without experiencing the cold rain. As I walked onto a wide ridge overlooking the valley, I stopped and gasped. Stretching across the entire vast sky, from one mountain peak to another, was a giant, magnificent double rainbow. Its colors were incredibly bright shades of red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, arching over the quiet world. The sky behind the rainbow was a mix of soft lavender and warm gold. As the sun began to set, it was a sight of perfect beauty. I stood there, silent, looking up at the arch of hope. I realized that without the storm, there could be no rainbow. The rainbow is made of both light and water. It is born from the meeting of the sun and the rain. Your life's rainbows are born this way too. Your strength, your empathy, and your beautiful wisdom are born from the meeting of your light and your rainy days. Do not hate the rain, my friend. At the end of the day, I finally reached my destination, a small, cozy wooden cabin nestled in a quiet valley. Inside, the cabin smelled of aged cedar wood and dry pine. A warm, crackling fire was already burning in the stone fireplace, throwing a gentle amber glow onto the wooden walls. I stepped inside, took off my muddy boots, and hung my damp green cardigan near the hearth to dry. I watched the steam slowly rise from the wet wool as the warmth of the fire gently dried it. The physical relief of being dry and warm was incredible. Sometimes, after a long, difficult day, we need to return to our cabin. We need to dry off, rest, and let our hearts heal. Your rainy days will eventually end. The path will bring you to a warm hearth where you can dry your wet coat and rest your tired bones. I sat down in a comfortable wooden chair by the fireplace, holding a hot ceramic mug of tea. Outside, the rain began to fall again, tapping gently on the glass window. But inside, I was warm and safe. As I listened to the rain outside, I realized something surprising. The tea tasted so much better because of the cold hike. The warm fire felt so much cozier because of the freezing storm. If my path had been dry and sunny all day, I wouldn't have felt this deep, magical sense of gratitude and comfort tonight. The storm had not ruined my day. It had completed it. It had given me the gift of appreciation. My friend, your rainy days will do the same. They make your quiet, peaceful days taste so much sweeter. They teach you to cherish the simple warmth of life. Do not fear the storm. It is preparing you for a warmer hearth. My fellow traveler, thank you so much for walking through the rain with me today. Thank you for sitting by this warm fire. As you go on with your week, please remember the lesson of the storm. When the dark clouds roll into your life, do not panic. Do not run. Look for your sanctuary. Wrap yourself in small comforts. Drink your warm tea and listen to the music of the rain. Trust that your roots are growing deep in the wet soil. And remember, the rainbow is coming. It is already being born from the meeting of your light and your rain. Be gentle with yourself. Take it one step at a time, one day at a time, one breath at a time. You are capable, you are safe, and you are not alone. I am right here with you, walking beside you in the rain. Now, it is time to close your eyes. Let the pitter-patter of the rain soothe your mind and fall into a peaceful sleep, wherever you are in this wide, beautiful world. Sleep well and dream of rainbows. Good night, friend. Until our next campfire.